Okay, so today you should have this worksheet, Factoring Round 3, in front of you. I'm going to work through about 3 or 4 problems with you. The rest of this will be your classwork. And after that, you should have plenty of time to start your homework. And there's also an optional practice test that is not printed, and it's on the website. And all of the answers are on there, so if you guys want additional practice to prepare for your test on Friday, just visit the website on the calendar. Okay, so today, Factoring Completely is basically combining what we have learned the first 2 days of factoring. Remember, on Monday, we would look at a problem like number 1 and just factor out the greatest common factor. Well, we would factor out a 3x and just leave our answer like this: 3x times parentheses 2x squared minus 3x minus 5. But sometimes what's left over in these parentheses can factor further. So you always want to check. And what we learned yesterday is, remember to do our whole diamond box method. We multiply the 2 times the negative 5. And this problem's already worked out for you, but remember we take 2 times negative 5, which is negative 10, and we're looking for 2 numbers that multiply to be negative 10 and add up to negative 3. And those numbers are going to be negative 5 and positive 2. And remember, we use those 2 numbers to set up our box problem. They go right there with the x. And remember, the first term, 2x squared, goes in the upper left. Negative 5 goes in the lower right. And we find the outside factors. Okay. So 2x minus 5, x plus 1 is what the inside factored to. And just don't forget to bring down your original GCF, which was 3x. So this original problem factors into 3 factors: 3x, 2x minus 5, and x plus 1. So refer to this example also. It's nicely worked out. Just remember, it's just 2 steps. We're putting those 2 things that we learned together now. Okay, so let's look at number 2. And we notice on Monday's lesson we go, oh yeah, 2. We can factor out a 2 out of all 3 of these terms. So we're going to rewrite it as 2 times x squared minus 4x plus 3. And then you ignore that 2 out in front and just look at what's left over inside and basically do the process we learned yesterday. Multiply, remember this is a 1 in front of the x squared. So 1 times 3. And the middle term is negative 4. So 2 numbers that multiply to be 3 add up to negative 4. Well, that's going to be negative 3 and negative 1. So remember, set up your box. And remember, you'll get faster at this. I promise. X squared plus 3 goes down here. And remember, we want to take these numbers with an x. So it's negative 3x, negative 1x. And then complete the outside dimensions. So the GCF in this first column will be x. And also, remember, if this is x squared, the only way to get x squared as a product is x times x. So we can just put x times x there. And then x times negative 1 will give me negative x. And x times negative 3 will give me negative 3x. So the inside part factors to be x minus 1, x minus 3. And don't forget to bring this GCF down. It's a common mistake on the test. Okay, so factored completely. Okay, so that's number 2 done for you. Let's look at something a little different, like number 4. Okay, now notice we have x's and y's. So right away I notice, ooh, there's a y in each term, so that's going to be part of the GCF. Also looking at 3, 6, and 24, well, 3 divides into all of those. So my GCF that I want to start with is 3y. So you want to pull that out first, leaving me with x squared minus 2x minus 8. Okay, and then ignore your 3y. Remember, this is 1x squared. We multiply 1 times negative 8. And negative 2 goes down in the bottom for the diamonds. Two numbers that multiply to be negative 8 add up to negative 2. That's going to be negative 4 and positive 2. Draw out your box. Remember your first term, x squared, in the upper left. Last term, negative 8, goes in your lower right. And then, of course, the answers to the diamond problems with an x. Doesn't matter where these go. So remember, negative 4x, positive 2x, I could have reversed those orders. You'll still get the same answers on the outside. Okay, so remember, I see an x squared here. The only way to get an x squared is an x and x. So x times 2 will give me 2x. And x minus 4 will give me a 4x there. Notice negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. I always like to check all of these products before moving on and make sure we've done that correctly. So now I have my outside dimensions, x plus 2, x minus 4. Those are the two factors. And the original GCF factor, bring that down, 3y in front. That's your final answer. Okay. So I'll do one more with you on this side. Number 6. So whenever you guys see an x cubed, I'll give you a hint. Look at every single term. They should have an x in them. So x should be your GCF. Notice x cubed, x squared, x. Ooh, they all have at least an x. Now notice 2, 5, and 12. I can't divide anything evenly into all of those. So the only GCF is an x. Okay. Leaving me with 2x squared plus 5x minus 12. Okay. And then you go through the same process. 2 times negative 12 is negative 24. And they have to add up to positive 5. So the diamond problem answers should be 8 and negative 3. Draw your box. 2x squared in the upper left, minus 12 in the lower right, and 8x and negative 3x in whichever part of the diagonal you choose. Okay, so this time I have a 2x squared, cover up one column, so what is the GCF in this first column? 2x. Leaving this dimension having to be x. 2x times x is 2x squared. X times negative 3 will give me negative 3x. And 2x times 4 will give me 8x. And again, just double check all of the dimensions. 4 times negative 3 gives me negative 12. And you can check all of them that you did that right. So one factor is 2x minus 3. The other factor is x plus 4. And of course, our original GCF, bring that guy down, x right out in front. Okay. So just a little longer than yesterday's. The front side, I will tell you 1 through 10. All of these will have GCFs first. So it's just like these 3 that we did here. First look for your GCF, then factor the leftovers. Okay. On the back side, only some of these are going to have GCFs, so be careful. Like, for instance, this first one, obviously I cannot factor something out. So you're just going to do what we did yesterday. Same thing with number 12. Okay. So just kind of always, how factoring gets difficult is knowing where to start sometimes, but the first step you always want to do is look for a GCF. Okay. All right, so I hope that was helpful. I think you guys can do the rest on your own. I will leave the answers up on the board, and just remember to work together, and I will answer all of your questions tomorrow. Good luck.